Okay, hey guys, how you going? It's Tom, and this is your setting up your MyFitnessPal little video. I'm going to make this quick and hopefully relatively painless. So, as you can see here, this is MyFitnessPal, right? And this is where you need to go to. I always find it slightly easier doing it on a desktop than I do doing it on the phone. You can do it on the phone; it's really easy. But I'm just going to show you on the desktop. And then if there are any issues, we can sort of work around them, okay? So the first thing that you do is, I'm going to have to click off here so you will not see my beautiful boat race in a second. So we click off here and we go to goals, okay? So you click on your goals, okay? Now, hopefully you guys will have shopped and got the premium version, because you got to have the premium version because you got to be able to edit this in grams, okay? If you don't edit it in grams and you do it in percentages, you will not have the best chance of success. So this is all about making sure that you got the best chance of success. Hello again. So we'll go back to here. Now, as you can see, we don't really care about the calories. What we're more interested in is the carbohydrates, fats, and proteins, and then your custom daily goals, because you will be doing intermittent fasting. Now, I'll make another video, and there's some of the videos that me and Chris have done as far as what intermittent fasting is and why we do it on this program and how it's going to help you. It's really a great idea to use as custom daily goals. So just here, okay? So on Tuesday and Thursdays, they're my intermittent fasting days, okay? So if I go into here and I click edit, okay, you can actually see that it says set by percentage. I don't want to do that. The other way, it will say set by grams. So you will plug in the numbers that I give you. So I have 150 grams. I don't actually have that. I have a lot less than that because I'm a lot more fat adapted now. So I don't actually have to go use 150 grams of carbs. So 119 grams of fat, there or thereabouts, and about 165 grams of protein. So now you can go here. Now on the phone, again, it's slightly different, but you can add a daily goal. All right. So if I click on here, I can then select it. I've already done it, so I'm not going to mess it up. But my macronutrients is it's on here, and then because I think it's because so on Tuesday and Thursday you would then change that. Okay, so I'm not going to mess around with this. But yeah, that's how you do it. So on your intermittent fasting days, where you'll see that your protein numbers will be normal, okay, and your fats will be down and your carbs will be pretty much non-existent. And when you're using the exogenous ketones, and if you're not into the ketones yet, I would highly recommend it, mainly because you need something to replace that energy with, okay, and it takes a little while for your brain and your body to start becoming more fat adapted. It takes a little while for your body to start utilizing fats for fuel. Yeah, it just takes a little bit of time, okay? But if you're not using them, that's absolutely fine. You can still do it. Just be prepared that within about 7 to 10 days, you're going to start hitting a wall, because your brain's just going to go, guys, well, like, where's my glucose? Like, where's the fuel for my brain? The great thing is, like, when you use exogenous ketones, they cross the blood-brain barrier very, very efficiently. So it's basically, you're just feeding your brain ketones, which is a much, much more efficient way than doing it with glucose. It's just that if you go from 0 to hero, you're not going to you haven't built the flexibility between going from glucose to fat so quickly, right? So it takes a little bit of time, and that's why we recommend the exogenous ketones, because it will help you get to where you're trying to get to a lot faster, okay? But again, totally your choice. So now that we've set this up, it's pretty simple, okay? I'm going to click on this button. I'm going to save the changes. Bang, and there you go. Now, when you're on your phone, you'll be able to, scan things. You'll be able to, go into the shops and work it all out. Now, this is where the learning side of this comes into it, okay? We don't really do meal plans. You can have a look at the recipes, you can plug these recipes in, you can find out, okay? This is to do with you guys finding out how this works, okay? And we're here to, and I'm here to bounce questions off, to ask questions about how to do these things and how to set this up. But this is how you set this up. You basically just take the numbers that I will have sent you in an email, you plug them into MyFitnessPal, and you try and hit those numbers, okay? What do you need? You need a set of kitchen scales. That's one of the most important things to start off with. Set of kitchen scales, something to weigh your food on, and also something to weigh liquids out. So your oils, your butter, like all that sort of stuff. So milliliters, you can get the things from Woolies. You can get all that measuring stuff from the shops. It's really straightforward. And yes, you must weigh pretty much everything to start off with, because you've got to know what the value of this food is, right? So if I take my phone here and I go into MyFitnessPal, now I've got nothing around me that is food orientated, but that's okay. I'm going to go in here. So MyFitnessPal, it'll look like this. Okay, hopefully you can see that. And I can go to, now if you're doing this on your phone, click on to set it up, more, goals. I know you can't really see this, but we'll figure it out. Don't worry about putting in anything to do with your exercise. If you've got a heart rate monitor, then they tend to like interlink with this. I need you to turn that off. So it says exercise calories. So when you start putting in your, basically when you go into exercise calories, when I log an exercise, increase my daily calorie goal. No, we don't want to do that. Turn that off, okay? We don't want that to happen, okay? And try and unlink, if you've got a Garmin or a Polar Watch or whatever, unlink it with this, because it will start playing with it, okay? So it doesn't really matter about the workouts and minutes worked out. We don't really care about that. We know that you're going to be doing that. So you will then go to customize your default or daily goals, nutrition goals, boom, and you can actually change it. You can actually change it in there, okay? And you can set your daily goals as well. So you'll set your macronutrient numbers based on everything that I've sent you, okay? Don't worry about what the calories say. We work things out slightly differently, but as long as you're in that ballpark figure, it's absolutely fine, okay? So now when you track food, okay, you've got this blue button there. You press it, okay, it comes up with that. You go click on food, and let's say it's lunch, whatever, okay. And I've got a whole heap of like frequent foods in there. You can add meals in there, recipes in there. You got whole heaps of stuff. You can create recipes. So I would recommend right now having a little look at it, working it all out, playing around with it, because MyFitnessPal is literally your new FitnessPal, okay? You need to be tracking everything, because then when it comes round to when you do a scan and you're going, oh, if things aren't really working, we need to be able to have a look at this and go, okay, well, maybe change this to that. This is, you shouldn't be eating this, should be eating that, blah, 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 all that sort of stuff. So, this is just such a good way to keep track of what you're doing, and it really helps us as well to be able to help you. This is to do with learning, okay? We don't do meal plans because you're not going to learn anything. All you're going to do is look at some food, buy it, don't really know what it is. This way, you can scan it. You can see how much protein's in it. You can see how much carbs in it. You can see how much fat's in it, So that's pretty much the base of it, okay? And literally, so one thing that you need to always remember is that, say for example, okay, you get a chicken breast and you put it on the scales and it says 200 grams. That does not equate to 200 grams of protein. That will be possibly maybe 20 grams, 25 grams of actual protein, and that's what we're looking for. We're not looking for the weights of the actual food. We're looking for what's inside the food, okay? So, be aware of that. That's a really, really important thing, and people tend to get a bit unstuck and a bit confused about that. So it's literally nothing to do with the overall weight of the food. So if I've given you something like mine is 165 grams of protein and 119 grams of fat and 150 grams of carbohydrate, I don't just eat 165 grams of protein, because that will be like 2 meals, it'll be nothing, you know what I mean? So like 165 grams of actual chicken will yield about 30 grams of protein, okay? And that's not inclusive of the fats that's inside chicken, because chicken is actually quite a fatty meat. So just be aware of that. That's a really, really important thing to remember. So when you're tracking things, I'll send this video out to you guys, and you can start getting your head around it and start going, okay, shit, like, this is this and this is this. Say for a protein shake, 30 grams, I think, or 40 grams of protein powder yields about 25 grams of protein. Oils and fats are slightly different. So 1 gram of oil, right, olive oil, will yield 1 gram of fat, more often than not. Okay, so coconut oil, olive oil, ghee, butter, that sort of stuff. Still track it, still put it in. You've got to track everything, otherwise you will come unstuck. Because if you're having like 10 grams of fat, 10 grams of oil, and you're not really aware of what's going in, that's 10 grams of extra fat, right? So 10 grams of extra fat, 10 multiplied by 9 point, I think it's 9.2, is 92 calories, right? You do that 3 times a day, that's 276 calories. You do that 7 days a week, that's an extra 1,932 calories, almost a day's worth of food that you're consuming without tracking it, which you didn't really know. Okay, so 1,932 calories, that'll clock up. You do that over 4 weeks, multiply that by 4, that's 7,728 calories. Now, you divide that by 9.2, 840 grams, that's nearly a kilo of fat, all right? So it's just knowing these things, and this is what it's all about. It's a learning curve, okay? It's all about learning, all right? So that's how you set up MyFitnessPal. Make sure that you get the premium. Unfortunately, it's $70 for the year. You get a month free, so get amongst that, okay? And start tracking that food, all right? If you've got any questions, you know where I am. Speak up, speak in the group, send an email, send a text, whatever it might be, and I'll help you out, all right? Peace.